Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you a photo of that piece of sweet corn, that partially eaten piece of sweet corn. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. I am working mostly with the Pink Paisley Paige Evans Fancy Free collection today, and I do have the paper pads from that, so I didn't have paper names, and they're all numbered, but that's where it's from, is it's the Fancy Free collection here. Now I'm starting out using that paper with all the miscellaneous circles on it, and I really like how that looks, and it's kind of fun to use it. Since the picture itself is so plain, it's actually easy to get a busier background. So I have a kind of pink polka dot paper from Fancy Free, and I'm going to mount that photograph on it, and then I'll just trim it off a little bit. For those of you who are new subscribers, if you were paying a little bit of attention there, you saw that there was some writing on the back of my photo there, and that's because after I print the photos, I write the date that it was taken, and then also any title ideas I have for my photograph on the back. And that's how, even though I don't scrap in chronological order, I know what the dates and kind of ideas are for titles without having to spend a lot of time going back through my files looking at them. Now I cut off that piece of yellow paper, and that was so perfect for a layout about corn, and that is also from the Pink Paisley Fancy Free collection. It's just perfect, perfect, perfect. So now I want some sort of card to journal on, and I found that card, that yellow card that said Happy Dance, and again it's very appropriate because the corn is so yellow, and I'm talking about how sweet this sweet corn is. I live, I should say, in an area where the corn in the summer is just amazing, and it really gets to be so sweet that sometimes it's sweet like candy. So that's kind of what this is about. I did toy with using that kind of journaling card there, that 3x4 card with the ampersand on it, as something decorative, but it was too busy with the background. So I just went back to my original idea there, which is just to use the Happy Dance card. I'm inking the edges now of all my papers, and of course I didn't do it before, so I have to peel part of them back, and that's the Memento Dewdrop Gray Flannel, which is probably my favorite go-to ink. It's definitely my favorite gray, but it's pretty much my go-to. It's softer than black, so I kind of like that about it. But it's still fairly dark if you use it direct to paper like I am here. Or it can be very soft if you use an ink pad. Alright, so now I kind of have to figure out some how I'm going to use and what I'm going to embellish with. I had seen this ampersand there, and it picked up on some of the green, bright green in the patterns there. And then I also saw this Amy Tangerine chipboard piece that says Love List, and that is from a Thickers pack that's the cutout accents. I have no idea what collection that actually belonged to. It's pretty old. And then sorry about that. It is from the Amy Tangerine cutout accents. The @ sign is from the Bella Boulevard Chow Chip symbols. I'm trying to use up, I keep a stack of some things that I want to use up on the left side of my desk, just to the left side of it's just my left hand actually. It's things I want to use up, and this chipboard, both of these things of chipboard come from those packs. So I need to be more intentional about that as I'm scrapping now, because I've had some of this stuff sitting there for probably close to a year now, and obviously I'm not using it up if it's been there that long. So I did this at one point when I was part of a challenge to use things up, and it worked out really, really well. I just have kind of abandoned it a little bit. So that little chipboard piece that says write this down is also from the Amy Tangerine cutout accents chipboard sheet. And it, you know, my love for sweet corn and how good and delicious it is in the summer is a big part of where I live. So I think it's pretty cool that I did get this written down. And the @ symbol there is not really, it's more of a decorative thing than anything else to get that green in there. I suppose I could have called this @ sweet corn, or you could read it that way if you really wanted to. And now I'm trying to get the backing off of the chipboard there, which it's not being very cooperative for me. And I think if I remember correctly, it came about half off and not all the way. So I'm just going to use my ATG and put the glue down behind it, or adhesive as the case may be. Can't believe I can't remember the name for adhesive. Something we use a lot of. All right, so I have my main page elements down there, and I'm kind of looking to see if there's anything else that I could use. I thought that that orange piece there was a little bit too bright. And so now I'm going into my die cuts for the Fancy Free collection to see if there's anything that I can use here. And I'm not going to use die cuts per se, but there's another circle paper in this Fancy Free collection that has these circles with words written on them. And so I'm going to take some of those and use them within my layout. So that one that I have in my hand right there says most favorite, and I'm going to put that one up in the top left there. And then I found another pink one there that says very, very, and that's going to go to the left of the journaling card. And so now I have 2 of them. I'm going to add a third one later on, and I'm just inking the edges here just so that they stand out a little bit more, and I've inked the edges of everything else, so that makes sense. And that I'll cut that circle off so that it doesn't break through the border there. I could have done that if I wanted to, but I decided not to. The border, by the way, I don't think I said what that is it's a sheet of Basil cardstock in the Raven color, which is one of the blacks. And so I cut that off, but I needed to ink the top edge of that. All right, so now I'm just looking to see if there's anything else, and I find this little circle that says good vibes only, and I'm going to put that to the right of the photo. And I grabbed my 2-inch circle punch, because that's how I punched these out, but I realized it was going to be really hard to punch it, so I just grabbed my scissors and I will fussy cut it out. If you do that to cut a circle or a line that's more round, just tuck your arm to your side and hold it there, and rotate your hand with the piece that you're cutting in it, and keep your scissors and your arm still, and then it won't get very bumpy on you. And I decided to go over one of the background yellow paper layer there, and I just kind of like, and when I put them down, I was pretty intentional about the fact that I didn't want them to fully cover any of the other circles. I wanted the colors peeking out behind the circles that I've added on top. I also decided that I just wanted them to be a little something extra in the background. I didn't want them to stand out, because one of the things I could have done is I could have put them up on pop dots, although that would have been a little bit harder with the 2 that are tucked behind things. So that's one of the reasons that I decided to do what I did there. All right, so what I am doing here now is I didn't have a C, so I was making a C from another letter, which I don't remember what letter it was, but I was MacGyvering letters, as Sarah Swan says, to make this work. And these letters are from Sassafras. The name of the font is Yellow Paper. So I'm glad I'm finally getting to use up some of these fonts from Sassafras, because I've had them for quite a while. They're wonderful. They're the perfect size for titles or subtitles. It's going to be a sad day when I've used them all up. I haven't used them in a while though, so it was good to go back to them. And then I just put the word sweet there because I wanted to try to figure out how I was going to put this on, because the word sweet is longer than the word corn, and I don't like to do that most of the time because it feels like it's kind of, the top word then is kind of falling off or balanced somehow on the bottom word. But I think it worked this time just because the background is a little bit more busy, or at least it works to my eye. And it's almost like the ampersand is sort of an extra support to help the word corn to hold up the sweet, if that makes any sense at all to you. But those are the kinds of things that I think about when I'm designing a layout. All right, so I have my word sweet on the wax paper there, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to determine where I want to put these things. The title, I mean. And I'm taking the centers out of the E's, which are not fun to do. And the nice thing about this font is it's yellow, but it also has a blue line in it. So it works really well with the turquoise and blues of this collection. So I'm looking now at my enamel dot stash, and I have these My Mind's Eye enamel dots from the Sweetest Thing Tangerine collection, and I'm going to use the yellow dots from that collection. And then I also use an orange dot and a pink dot from the same collection because I ran out of the yellow kind of corn colored dots. I wanted to use up as many as I could on that sheet since I had it out. That's kind of my next thing I need to start looking at using up, is when I've got just a couple enamel dots left, I put them on a sheet, but I really need to be intentional about doing that, to getting some of those very small or most partially used packages where I don't have that many left. All right, I'm just about done. I'll journal on this off camera. There will be a still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you're all well, and I'll be back with another layout again soon. Bye.